Good afternoon and welcome, sports fans. Welcome to Full Count, Sports Memo's MLB betting coverage show. My friends, we come to you live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be covering baseball with some of the best handicappers, analysts, columnists, and sports bettors on the planet. Guys, we're going to be giving out free picks on several games for today's card and plenty of time for you to get down on those free picks. I'm your host, world champion handicapper, Vegas' biggest daily sports bettor, Joe D'Amico, and joining me, leaderboard fixtures over at Sports Memo, Mr. Rocky Atkinson and Mr. Ronald Cabang. Guys, you know what we say on Friday? TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday, Rocky. Happy Friday, Ronald. How are you both today?
Hey, doing good, Joe. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. I think third MLB full count show this week. I'm excited to finish off the week strong.
This is good stuff, guys. You know, there's no other way to end the week than on the Full Count Show with Rocky, Ronald, and your sexy and savory host, Joey D. Before we get into giving out some of today's free winners, we have a couple of quick announcements for everybody. First, my friend, we have a special discount. You're going to see it rotating across the bottom of your screen throughout the show. Anyone on the Full Count Show, the rest of the MLB campaign, just $279. This is huge because this is normally over $400. All you got to do upon checkout is use code BBALL279. That pays for itself in no time. Whether you're a parlay card bettor for $20 or a 20-dime a game bettor, this will pay for itself in no time. So follow the likes of Rocky, Ronald, myself, with some of the other great cappers, and you'll be following us all the way to the bank. My friend, we've got a few other things we'd like to tell you about. The first meet and greet was so successful. Sports Memo Wager Talk families are having another meet and greet at the Westgate Superbook right here in sunny Las Vegas next weekend. That's the 19th and 20th of the month. My friends, I cannot tell you, all your favorite Sports Memo and Wager Talk personalities are going to be there. We have some great festivities. We've got golf. We've got basketball. We've got swag bags. I got some great stuff I'm giving away. We have these made up. Woo, 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 woo. Me and my wife on the back. Guess what we got? Sports Memo. We got some great stuff. My good friend Ralph Michaels, he made up some fun stuff. You're going to meet all your favorite personalities. Come and join us. Have a few laughs. Pick our brains, because we want to meet you as much as you want to meet us. Join us, the Westgate Superbook, next weekend, 19th and 20th. We'll be in the clubhouse. You can't miss us. If you can't see us, you'll hear Joe D'Amico's voice. I promise you that. All right, one more thing we'd like for you to do for us. Because of you, our wonderful followers, we hit the milestone of 5,000 subscribers a few weeks back on YouTube. Well, guess what? We have a new challenge for all of you, and we think you can meet it. We want to hit 10,000 subscribers during football. We can't do it without your help, guys. I want you to know our great producer, Chris, and I, and some of the other great minds over at Sports Memo, will be sitting down and working out the fall schedule. And I got to tell you, we'll be revolutionizing the sports betting industry as far as videos go. Next week, we'll have some announcements about the fall schedule. You don't want to miss any of the content we have. And when you do subscribe, you'll get a little ding. You'll get an alert that tells you when one of our great shows are on. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss anything of what we do. So without any further ado, guys, we got 3 roundtable games and a best bet segment coming at you. Our first roundtable game, I got to tell you guys, there's a lot of baseball to be played, folks. And the series between the Mets and the Phillies has some serious implications. It really does. Our first roundtable game, although it's a big price, this is a big game. Don't kid yourself. Phillies are playing good ball. Mets are playing great ball. Right now, Phillies at Mets, New York minus 220, total of 7 flat. My friends, we're going to go with the Southern Assassin. He's wanted for killing bookmakers. Rocky Atkinson, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, Philadelphia is coming in 62-49 overall this year. The Mets are 73-39, one of the best teams in baseball for sure. Max Scherzer gets the start for the Mets here. He's been solid all year again this year. Ranger Suarez starts for the Phillies. He's been a surprise to me. He's 8-5 with a 3.68 ERA overall this year. Solid 6-1 with a 2.87 ERA on the road this season. And he's 1-0 with a 1.65 ERA his last 3 starts. Philadelphia had won 7 in a row before losing last night to the Marlins. They're scoring 6.3 runs per game the last 7 games overall, with a team batting average of 298. And over the past 7 games, they're allowing only 2.7 runs per game. They're 8-1 their last 9 road games. They're 6-1 the last 7 road games against right-handed starters. They're 20-7 the last 27 games against division opponents. And we won't find many stats to go against the Mets here, but they are 50-62 the past 3 years against left-handed starters. Very tough game here. I'm going to recommend a very small play on Philadelphia plus the 1.5 minus 120 on the run line here.
Guys, the Southern Assassin Rocky Atkinson says a small play. Philly plus the 1.5, plus a little bit of that juice there, guys. Rocky, it's a great analysis as usual. You really are one of the best analysts in this sports betting business. We appreciate you. My friends, Rocky's doing some great work in multiple sports over at SportsMemo. And guys, I got to tell you, last year, I know it's a baseball show, last year documented over 70% in NFL. I got to tell you, that's a white whale in this business. And that son of a gun hunted that whale, killed it. He's got it mounted on his ceiling. I'll tell you that. Follow Rocky. You'll follow him all the way to the bank. Guys, I haven't worked with Ronald since before, I think, my vacation. I'm very excited that I get to work with him again. You know he's doing some great work. I mean, his work in the NBA is legendary. Last few years, 1 and 2. His NFL, college football. I know he's doing WNBA right now. He's all over the leaderboards. And I miss that cute son of a gun, I'll tell you that. He's doing some great work. He's going to tell you his take. Phillies at Mets, Ronald. Currently, New York 220, a total of 7. Ronald, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think he hit a couple good pieces there with Suarez and how he's been so dominant on the road. Specifically, Phillies are actually 8-1 on the road when he starts with and he has an ERA of under 3 in those games. The run margin plus 3.8 for the Phillies in those games. In his last 3 outings, specifically 3-0 with a 1.65 ERA. He's been getting solid run support as well, but you don't really see teams have pitchers like Scherzer, and he's been his dominant self wherever he pitches, whether it's road or home. In his last 3 games specifically, sub-1 ERA, allowing just 1 per game and close to an average of 7 innings pitched. From a batting perspective, the Phillies are hitting just 232 and scoring an average of 0.8 runs less against righties than they do against lefties on the road. So a lot of the wins that he captured on the road with the Phillies were against starting left-handed pitchers. From the Mets side, they hit lefties at home a little bit worse than they do against righties, but it really isn't that significant. Not anything that compares to a whole or close to a whole run less like the Phillies have. One thing I wanted to mention as well is how well the Mets do on the first game of a series, 28-7 straight up in game ones of during this season, including 19-4 if they're coming off of a win. For me, I want to back Scherzer here. I feel like the Mets should be able to be up by at least 1 run after the first 5. So Mets first 5 run line is the way that I would look here.
Sports fans, Ronald Cabang, he's doing great work over at SportsMemo. Says Mets first 5 run line. Great stuff, Ronald. We appreciate that. Your breakdowns are always great. I know you appeal to such a wide audience. Thank you for that. My friends, you need to go follow Ronald. You'll follow him all the way to the back. He's on multiple sports leaderboards. If you don't believe me, go check it out because numbers don't lie. My friends, don't go anywhere. We have 1 round table game down. We have 2 more to go before our best bet segment. But right after the show, be sure to go to SportsMemo. Take advantage of these great early bird football discounts because I'm going to tell you now, saving your money is just as good as making your money. We at SportsMemo know that, but these early bird discounts will not be available for too much longer. Guys, take advantage of these discounts now right after the show. I know it's a baseball show, but football is upon us. Having said that, there's a good chance that all 5 American League teams can make the playoffs this season. That's just amazing. So every division matchup is significant, folks. It really is. All right, without any further ado, the Orioles at the Rays, currently Tampa Bay, $1.5 favorite, 7.5 under minus 120. Let's go to the man. He's wanted down south for killing bookmakers. The assassin himself, Rocky Atkinson. Rocky, tell us your take. Orioles Rays, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, very good matchup here. Tampa Bay's 58-53 on the season. 58-52 on the season. Baltimore's 58-53 on the season. Baltimore, very surprising team this year. Austin Voth has pitched very well for Baltimore this season. Kluber gets to start for the Rays here. He's 5-1 with a 3.70 ERA at home this year. He's 6-3 with a 3.49 ERA in his 15 career starts versus Baltimore. Tampa Bay's 47-19 the last 3 years as a home favorite of minus 125 to minus 175. Tampa Bay's 109-64 against division opponents the last 3 years, and they've won 13 of the past 19 against division opponents this season. They're 95-38 the last 133 home games against right-handed starters. Baltimore is 39-82 the last 121 road games. They're 14-50 the last 64 games on turf. Tampa Bay is 48-20 last 68 meetings overall in this series. And I think the key here is going to be home field advantage. Tampa Bay is 17-2 at home versus Baltimore the past 3 years. So I'm going to recommend a play on Tampa Bay in this one.
Sports fans, Rocky Atkinson says the Rays. Guys, we've come to expect from Rocky is just amazing analysis, and he never, ever lets us down. Thank you, Rocky. By the way, guys, I want you to know, if I ever get bad news from a doctor, I want Rocky to give it to me. He's got the smoothest voice I've ever heard. He is the Don Cornelius of the sports betting industry. I know I make him laugh, but guys, man, I'm telling you right now, he can tell me I got a tax audit or a root canal, and I'll be smiling. Rocky, you are amazing. You always put all of our viewers, as well as your co-panelists, in a good mood. Thank you. But as usual, a great analysis, guys. Follow Rocky over at SportsMemo. You'll follow him to the bank. Well, guys, we had a difference of opinion here in the first round. Let's see if Ronald Cabang, who's doing great work at SportsMemo as well, is on the same side as Rocky. Let's see if he agrees in round two or disagrees in round two as well. Rocky, Ronald, let me try that. We got to switch your names. I got to give you guys numbers. Ronald, Tampa Bay, $1.5, 7.5, under 20. The floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah, I think overall Kluber has been struggling this season, but he's been a little bit better at home. That's where he's been killing it. So the Rays are 8-2 straight up at home when Kluber starts. He has a 3.7 ERA, and opponents are averaging just 2.8 runs in those games. So a lot of the runs are coming when he's pitching, like during the first 5 innings. But then after that, they're limiting the opponent. So the bullpen, obviously, both of these teams are actually pretty strong. Both have been solid on the road. Voth has been solid on the road, though he's 1-2. Even though he's just 1-2 on the record side, his ERA is just under 1.7. Most of the runs as well for him are coming actually after he exits. So from an average perspective, the bullpen is actually pretty strong. But when Voth comes out, for some reason they're giving up runs. So it's like a little bit of a flip flop there. From a batting perspective, looking at current form, the Orioles are hitting way better as far as batting average, but they're not turning into that many runs. Rays, on the other hand, they're struggling from a batting average perspective, just hitting around 200 their last 5 games. With that said, I think at home with Kluber and how he does in those spots there, and also the bullpen at home when he starts limiting teams to just 2.8 runs in a 10-game sample size when he's at home. I think that the Orioles are going to be limited here on the run side, and I would probably look towards the Orioles under 3.5 runs on the full game total. So it sort of correlates with what Rocky was saying with the Tampa Bay team probably winning. So that's the way that I would go on this one, would be the Orioles team total under 3.5.
Ronald Cabang says Orioles under 3.5 team total. Great stuff, Ronald. Now, guys, whether you know Ronald as Ronald Cabang or as Hugh Capper, you know him as a winner because he is just that. After the show, be sure to take advantage of some of those customer appreciation discounts. Go to SportsMemo. Saving your money is just as good as making your money. But, guys, don't go anywhere. We're only 2 rounds down. We have another roundtable game and a best bet segment. And I've got to tell you, there's our buddy Charlie. He's commenting. I got to love it. We love the comments here on the Full Count Show. I try to answer as many as I can during the show. We love you, Charlie. Thank you very much always for your love and support. Guys, keep commenting. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't. We're thinking about possibly doing the first family show live in the next few weeks. That should be fun because I ain't wearing pants during that show. So we should have some great comments for that. My friends, we will tell you this. Our third roundtable game, the Twins are just a game and a half back of first place in the AL Central and a mere 1 game back of a wild card spot. Wins are a must right now for many. I think we'd all agree with that. I think they'd agree with that. So without any further ado, the Twins at the Angels. Minnesota is $1.35 favorite. Total 8 under 115. Let's go to the Southern Assassin, Rocky Atkinson. Rocky, the floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah, Minnesota's coming in 57-53 this year. The Angels 49-63. Tyler Mahle is 5-7 with a 4.24 ERA overall this year. He's 0-1 with a 7.20 ERA in his 1 career start versus the Angels. Patrick Sandoval is another pitcher that's lacked run support this season. We've talked about it over and over here on the Full Count Show all year about these pitchers. They've pitched really good, but they just haven't had that run support they've needed. He's only 3-7 overall this year as far as a record, but he has a solid 3.22 ERA overall this year, and he's 2-3 with a 2.98 ERA at home this season. He's also 1-0 with a 1.04 ERA in his one career start versus Minnesota. The Angels have allowed only 2.4 runs per game their past 7 games overall, where they're holding opponents to a combined team batting average of only 179. Angels have won 5 of the past 7 games against the AL Central Division. Minnesota's 3-10 this year when playing with a day off, including 1-8 their last 9. They're 1-6 their last 7 road games. They're 0-5 the last 5 road games against left-handed starters. And the Angels have won 5 of the past 7 meetings overall in this series. Angels are not that good of a team, really. Minnesota's got a chance for the playoffs, but I think the Angels are playing for something here tonight, is to give Minnesota a loss and to try to hurt their playoff chances. So I'm going to recommend a small play on the Angels in this one.
Rocky Atkinson, all over SportsMemo leaderboard, says a small play on the Angels. Rocky, let me ask you this real quick. You think, as far as disappointing teams, you think the Angels are looking upon themselves as one of the more disappointing teams this season, this baseball season?
I think you have to look at them as one of the most disappointed teams. They started off actually decent, I think, out of the gate this year, but here down the stretch, I mean, they've been terrible for a while now. And, with all that talent that they had, you would think that they would be a little bit better. So definitely a disappointment. Possibly the most disappointing team this year, for sure.
There you go. Thank you, Rocky. Always great hearing from Rocky Atkinson. Guys, go over after the show. Go follow Rocky, whether it's for 3 days or 7 days. I promise you'll come back for a longer stay. He's a winner. Let's go to Mr. U Capper, Ronald Cabang. Ronald, this is an interesting matchup. Rocky had a good point for any other reason but to give the Twins a loss. Let's get your take on this. Twins and Angels, Minnesota 135, 8 under -115. Ronald, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I promise. Me and Rocky didn't talk before this, but I'm with him here. Sandoval has actually been pretty solid at home. He's just doesn't get a lot of run support. He's sporting a 2.98 ERA at home, but the Angels are just 4-5 in those games because they're averaging just under 3.5 runs of run support. Molly, on the other hand, he gets his second start with the Twins. The Twins won that game, I think 6-5, if I'm not mistaken. Current form, Molly is 3-0, including a couple of games with the Reds before he got traded, before he got moved over here. And then from a batting perspective, the Twins struggle to hit against lefties on the road more than they do against righties, but they show a lot of power at the plate. The problem is Sandoval doesn't give up a ton of home runs. So if they're not going to be able to hit home runs, the runs are not going to be there on that side for the Twins. On the Angels side, they hit righties way better than they do against lefties at home. They're hitting a little over 240 and scoring an average of 1.25 more runs per game against righties at home than they do against lefties. It's tough to actually put money on the Angels because of how they've been playing, but that's the only way that I could look in this one. I think they're live dogs tonight.
There you go. Great minds think alike, guys. There's a reason why both Rocky and Ronald are always on leaderboards. Thank you, Ronald. Great breakdown. And once again, guys, we got this great discount that we're offering anybody on this show. The rest of MLB, just $279. You get to use code BBall279. You follow Rocky, follow Ronald. Guys, you will follow them to the bank. My friends, don't go anywhere because the most exciting portion of the show, our best bet segment. That's where Rocky, Ronald, and even I, your sexy and savory hosts, are going to chime in with our best bets for today. So without any further ado, first of all, before he gives you a best bet, I want him to tell you what he's got going on the premium side tonight, maybe over the weekend, and also what he's expecting to do, because he's got to hit that 70% mark again this NFL season. He did it once. I think he can do it again. And guys, I want you to know, I can't believe that he is finishing the week with us, because we did a couple of First Family shows with him, and he's always amazing. But that 70% that he hit last year in NFL, unrivaled. Guys, I've been doing this for a long time. 70. You go 70 for a week, maybe 70 for a month. You can't do 70 for a season. Only Rocky can do that. So Rocky Atkinson is going to tell us what he's got going on the premium side, maybe what he's excited about over the upcoming weeks or even months over at Sports Memo, and then give you another free winner in his best bet. Rocky, take it away.
Yeah, Joey, thank you. Definitely excited that football is here. NFL exhibition started last week, and I did hit 70% last year with all my NFL picks. That was the preseason, the regular season, and the playoffs combined, documented 70% with every pick released. And this weekend, I've got a top-rated 5% NFL monster going tomorrow night, actually, as well as my NFL exhibition non-conference game of the week. Both of those games go Saturday evening, so you have time to pick those up. And let's try to do better than 70%. That's going to be hard to do, but I've done it a few times in my 27-year career, so we're going to give it a try. If I come close, hey, that's good enough for me. But as far as the best bet here for the show, I'm looking at the LA Dodgers on the run line. Now, when I looked at it this morning, it was -1.5, -135. It's creeped up to like -1.5, -165 now. So that's a little bit high. But if you feel comfortable playing it, still play it. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball, in my opinion. 77-33 this year. Kansas City's 47-66. Tony Gonsolin has been incredible. 13-1 with a 2.30 ERA overall. He's 5-0 with a 3.20 ERA on the road. 2-1 with a 3.94 ERA his last three starts. Daniel Lynch gets the call for Kansas City. He's 4-7 with a 4.79 ERA overall, and he's 1-3 with a 5.97 ERA at home this season. The Dodgers have won 10 in a row coming into this contest here tonight. They're scoring 6.6 runs per game their last 7 games overall, with a team batting average of .292 while allowing only 2.1 runs per game, and they're allowing opposing teams a combined batting average of only .177 during that time. They're 21-5 last 26 games against the AL Central Division. They're 43-17 the last 60 games against left-handed starters. They're 45-18 the last 63 interleague games, including 25-10 on the road in interleague play. Kansas City's allowing 6.2 runs per game in interleague play this year. They're 1-5 the last 6 interleague home games, and they're 0-5 their last 5 interleague games against right-handed starters. The Dodgers have won. They're 5-0 the last 5 meetings overall in this series. I'm going to recommend a best bet for the show on the Dodgers on the run line tonight.
Sports fans, Rocky is like E.F. Hunting. When he talks people, listen, you better listen to him. He recommends a play on the Dodgers run line tonight. Great stuff, Rocky. We really appreciate you. You're just amazing. Thank you. Let's go from one leaderboard fixture over at SportsMemo to another. Ronald Cabang is going to tell you what he's excited about tonight on the premium side, maybe over the next few days. Also tell you maybe what he's excited about for some of these long-term programs and packages that we're offering discounts for over at SportsMemo. Ronald, the floor is yours.
Yeah, from a best bet perspective today, I talked about it earlier with the Mets on the first 5 run line here. A lot of things were, I know we've seen some trends backing Suarez on the Phillies, but most of the damage here is really to back Scherzer in how well the Mets have done in game 1s of the series. From a batting perspective, I talked about how the Phillies are struggling to put up runs against righties versus lefties on the road. So that's another thing to think about there. So just, combining that struggle against in that spot, and then also Scherzer just being his dominant self. One thing that I didn't mention earlier is as home favorites in game 1 of the series, the Mets are 11-3 on the first 5 run line here, and opponents are averaging just 1.3 runs per game in those spots, while the Mets are averaging 4.5. There's a big gap there in that first 5 innings in those spots in those game 1 series, specifically as home favorites for the Mets. So that's the way that I'm going here on the best bet. As far as what's going on the premium side, I do have a WNBA play on the first on the premium side tonight. It's a 4% play. I did hit the 5% play a couple of days ago. I typically don't do 5%, but it's usually around 3% or 2%. But lately in the WNBA, I've been seeing the board pretty well, and so I've been putting up a little bit higher unit size there. And for what's to come, definitely excited for all the upcoming sports: NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball. It's really down to balancing everything out I think being with Sports Memo the last couple of years, I kind of understand what people are starting to look into, and it's not quantity, it's the quality. And for me to be able to pick and choose the right plays for you guys is what I really want to focus on moving forward. And even with all those games, all those sports coming on at one time, you won't be seeing 10 plus plays. It's really going to be the ones that I really feel like are the top ones.
Ronald Cabang. We're going to change your name to Ronald Kaboom Boom Bang because you are killing bookmakers too, Ronald. Great stuff. We appreciate that. Guys, follow Ronald. You'll be following him all the way over to the bank. My friends, I'm going to chime in here, and I'm going to do my impersonation of Oprah, but I'm not going to be giving houses away. I'm going to be giving stats away. You get a stat. You get a stat, and yes, even you get a stat. Guess who's number one the last 30 days at Sports Memo overall in profit? Joe D. Guess who's number one overall in winning percentage? Joe D. Guess who's number one in MLB profit? You called it, Joe D. Guess who's number two in MLB winning percentage? Number one in NFL profit, number one in NFL winning percentage, all me. And I love talking about myself. I'm an egomaniac, but numbers don't lie. And you go over to Sports Memo. If you don't believe me, Chris is laughing backstage. It is casual Friday, but he's at home and he's not wearing any clothes, including pants. I love you, Chris. Thank you. Over the years, I have quite a few number one rankings in preseason football. Last season, right here at Sports Memo, went 7-3 on premium releases, another 6-0 on free plays this year. I'm already 2-0 in NFL preseason. I'm excited to announce I had my first Friday Night Lights play of the campaign. My FNL plays were 7-1 overall last season, and over the last 4 years are documented at 78%. I have it posted right now at Sports Memo for $10. Go over there. It'll pay for itself, whether you bet $10 or $10,000. You'll name your next born after Joe D'Amico because I'm staying perfect after tonight in preseason. I'll be 3-0. Now, as far as my free play today, if you watched the first family show this morning, and guys, you have no reason, no excuse that you didn't watch the show today. I don't want to hear it. If you watch the show this morning, I gave it a nice play on the Dodgers on the run line, but I like to give some diversity when I do more than one show on the same day. I don't think it's fair I'll give you the same free play on several shows. So having said that, my best bet here today on the Full Count Show is going to be on one of the roundtable games. The winners of 6 in a row and owners of a 7-game cushion in their division and possessing the second best overall record in the NL. The New York Mets are playing some great baseball with a combination of both a top 5 ranked pitching staff and lineup. This team is really a force to be reckoned with. I'm telling you right now, guys. Unlike recent seasons in which their hitting was a little erratic, this season the New York offense has risen to the level of their pitching. I'm not looking to take anything away from a very good Philadelphia Phillies team. This is a game team, guys, which currently possesses a wild card spot. And both on the mound and at the plate, they rank in the top 10. But the Mets have certainly gotten their better of the Phillies this season. They've taken 4 in a row, 8 of the last 10 in 2022. They also have a stronger pitcher on the mound with a better record against today's opponent. Scherzer, 8-2 with a 1.98 on the campaign. Over his career in 28 starts. That's a lot of starts, guys. Against Philly, he's 16-5 with a 2.66 mark. Ranger Suarez, I love that name. He has respectable numbers. 8-5 with a 3.68 mark, and he's pretty darn strong on the road. 6-1 this season, 2.87 ERA away from home. Very, very good. However, in 10 games, which includes 3 starts against the Mets, he's just 1-2 with a whopping ERA of 5.09. That goes up when he faces the New York lineup. The combination of having a better pitcher with a better record against today's lineup and the fact that they have had their way in the series this season compels me to play the Mets on the run line. I like them on the game on the run line. I'm laying it right before the show. They were 1.5 at even money. Let's go get them with that. Now, guys, let's bring back those good-looking sons of guns, Rocky and Ronald. Guys, it's Friday. It's just before the weekend. You got a great show here. We did a great full first family show this morning. Got to tell you, love it, love it, love it. Now, couple quick announcements before we say sayonara today, my friends. First of all, be sure to tune in every weekday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, to this show. Full Count, Sports Memo's MLB betting coverage show. We come to you live, giving out free winners with special guests each and every day. Another thing, hit that subscribe button. We want to hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and only you can help us get there. Also, after this show, guys, go over to Sports Memo. I have so many discounts up there. There's too many to name. You got your favorite capper or cappers. You can follow them. Saving your money is just as good as making money. We have a slew of discounts, and I'm sure one is tailor-made just for you. Also, next week, I'll be announcing our fall schedule. You're going to love it, and I'm going to tell you now. This is the reason why I really want you to subscribe. It's not just that we want to hit 10,000 subscribers. It's just that I don't want you to miss a single minute of some of the greatest shows you'll ever see in the history of sports betting. I'm telling you right now, we're going to revolutionize this business in video, and you don't want to miss any of that. And also, shameless plug, our first family show, we're going to continue to come at you Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Pacific time. We're thinking about doing some live shows. That should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of days I forget to wear pants. I'm so tired. It's early, guys. So you want to watch that show every Monday to Friday as well. Guys, I want to thank our Detroit crew. It's about a week before we see all your lovely faces, and I can't wait. I also want to thank Rocky and Ronald. Guys, finishing up the week, not just with two incredible leaderboard fixtures like yourselves, guys that I respect, but two of my favorite people in the world, is a treat for me. Don't tell SportsMemo. We'll ask Chris to edit this part out. I would do this job for nothing, but don't tell them I still want to get paid. Chris is laughing. So, guys, it's time to say goodbye to everybody out there. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Joe D'Amico on behalf of SportsMemo. Rocky and Ronald, good luck and have a winning day.